Several years ago, I was attending a conference, and the speaker was addressing the room, quipped in a humorous tone. He said, as he was talking about the idea of commitment, he said, "This morning I had bacon and eggs for breakfast. The chicken was involved, the pig was committed." What he was talking about there was the essence, though, sometimes of what it means to be successful. As super coach Steve Chandler will often say, is there's a difference between being interested and being committed. So my question for you are you being committed? Hi everyone, Chris NATZKE here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Are you interested or are you committed? You know, I've been blessed for the past 5 decades to be able to teach literally thousands of students in the martial arts. Students ranging from preschoolers all the way to people in their 70s and even 80s. And one of the things that I noticed is that their ability to have success in their training, their ability to one day achieve their black belt has very little to do with their initial physical ability. In fact, of all the students that I've promoted to black belt, and right now it's right around 2,000 in my career, I can think of only two that when I met them for the very first time, they had every skill set necessary to be a black belt. Focus, concentration, speed, strength, flexibility, power, just two. Now, one of them got their fourth degree black belt with me, another one got their second degree black belt with me. But what about the other 1,998? You see, what happened with them is they overcame their obstacles and they became committed to their goal. They basically were the essence of what we tell martial arts students all the time, which is a black belt is a white belt that never quit. They were committed. So in our little time together here, I'd like to just share with you three things that I think are extremely important for us when we are leaning into commitment, regardless of what that is the goal in our life. If it's financial, if it works with our career, our health and wellness, our relationships, some three key pieces to the importance of commitment. And the first thing is pre-commit. Pre-commit. Now, basically what that means is you decide before you decide. You know, many times people will get all fired up in the moment about taking and embarking on a new, say, exercise program. So they're all excited that they're going to get up the next morning, they're going to walk and or run, and they're going to do this every day of the week. And the alarm goes off that morning, and boy, that bed sure feels nice and warm. And that that they're snuggling in that comforter, and they're like, maybe I'll just run later. Maybe I'll do it later in the day. And they roll over and they get another hour's worth of sleep. See, the fact of the matter is in that place, they were making their decision and or the commitment in probably the weakest place they could when they were comfortable in bed. But what if they did this? What if instead of that, they pre-committed the night before that they were going to get out and do their walk or do their run. And rather than just go to bed, they literally put all of their running clothes right at the foot of the bed and their shoes right there. So as soon as their alarm went off, their commitment was to get out of bed and put on their clothes. Now, once you've done that, you start the momentum going. That pre-commitment allows you to decide before you have to decide in your weakest moment. Number two is to simply schedule it. You know, I've learned so much, particularly in my professional career, that nature abhors a vacuum. So if I have room in my calendar, most likely what will happen is I'm going to fill it with something. That's why when I had martial arts students, get close to their black belt and then tell me that, sir, I think I want to take a break for the summer. I did my very best to keep them engaged because I knew once they stopped their training, something else was going to fill it up. And the chances of them coming back were going to be slim to nil. So schedule the things that are most important to you. If it's your exercise regime, if it's your meditation, your reading, your date night with your significant other, your time with your kids, schedule it in your calendar and then schedule other things around it. Make those most important things that you want to commit to. Make those the anchor in your calendar so that you can make sure that you're experiencing a healthy and a balanced life. And then finally, focus on 1%. Focus on 1%. Very often in our society, particularly in the coaching world, we'll use terms like taking massive action in order to get achieve our goals. And I think that sometimes massive action is exactly what we need to do. If I went to the doctor, God forbid, and I got a diagnosis that if I didn't release, 20, 30 pounds and get incorporate a healthy lifestyle, that I might be doing damage to my heart, I may need to take that massive action and make it happen in that moment. But what happens with most of us is when we start out of the gates really fast, we just aren't able to maintain a momentum. And it's what the Japanese call heroes at the beginning. We start off just super, and then we begin to tail off. But what about this? What if the next time you made a commitment, rather than trying to get it all done at one time, you just committed that each and every day you're going to handle even 1% of that goal? I want you to think about this for a moment. Let's say you decided you're going to get better at something, and you gave yourself a year, and you've decided that in order to get there, you're just going to focus on getting 1% better each and every day over the course of a year. Now, what would happen is this, is at the end of the year, if you maintain that pace, 1% better each and every day, at the end of the year, you'd be 37 times better than when you started. Not bad, right? Now, what if you maintained that same pace over the course of 2 years? Now, many of us would say, well, that's easy math. We'd be 74 times better than when we started. But it's not true, my friends. You'd actually be 1,400 times better. You see, good habits, positive actions, they don't add up, they compound. Just like compounding interest, right? And if you maintain that same pace of 1% better each and every day over the course of 5 years, you'd be 76 million times better. So think about that. What are you willing to commit to, even if it's a small incremental increase each and every day of 1%? Because when we are focused on those small, powerful actions over time, they can lead to those massive results. So there you have it, my friends. What are you willing to commit to today? Where are you able to look in your life and objectively look and say, you know what? I think I'm showing up as just being interested. But what I need to do is I need to transform that into a commitment. And when you do, you'll be amazed at the breakthroughs you experience. So thanks so much for joining me. I love having you here. Please like, comment, and share this. And this has been Chris NATZKE with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. And we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.